Power, it's one of the oldest games in the world, and whether we like it or not, we're all playing it. Today, we're diving into the controversial, cunning, and captivating world of Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. This book has been banned in prisons, praised by celebrities, and feared by many. Imagine a manual that not only shows you how to navigate the murky waters of power but also arms you with tactics to outmaneuver and outsmart anyone standing in your way. But beware, these laws are not for the faint of heart. They're not about being moral or kind, they're about winning. So, buckle up, because we're about to uncover the laws that can make you a master of influence, or, if used against you, a pawn in someone else's game. Robert Greene's book is like a survival guide for modern times, dissecting the strategies used by powerful people throughout history, whether they were kings, queens, war generals, or cunning politicians. It's a guide to understanding the often invisible rules that dictate how power is gained, maintained, and lost. What makes this book stand out is how each law is brought to life through gripping historical examples. You'll see how these tactics have been used by some of history's most iconic figures to rise to the top, and how failing to follow them has brought down mighty empires. Let's get started with the first 10 laws. Law 1 to 10. Let's kick things off with some foundational laws that will set the tone for the entire book. These laws teach us the basics of power: how to avoid missteps, build influence, and protect your position. Law 1. Never outshine the master. Our journey begins with a simple but profound rule. Don't make those above you look bad. Imagine you're a young, ambitious artist working under a famous master. You have talent, but if you shine too brightly, your master may feel threatened. Think about Nicolas Fouquet, the finance minister of France, who threw a lavish party to impress King Louis XIV. Instead of winning favor, he ended up in prison for the rest of his life because he made the king feel overshadowed. Moral of the story? Always let those above you feel superior. Your time will come. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. This law might sound harsh, but it's a reality check. Friends can become entitled, lazy, or envious, while enemies are driven by a desire to prove themselves. Greene uses the example of Michael III of the Byzantine Empire, who put his trust in his old friend, Basilius, only to be betrayed. If you need someone who'll work hard for you, sometimes your enemy is the better bet. They have something to prove, and that's a powerful motivator. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Greene warns that if people know what you're planning, they can block you. Always keep your cards close to your chest. Think of it like a chess game. Reveal your strategy too early, and you'll lose. Historical figures like Bismarck, the master of diplomacy, used deception to hide his true motives, allowing him to manipulate his opponents into making mistakes. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. We live in a world of noise, but those who master the art of silence hold the power. Saying less makes you appear more powerful, mysterious, and in control. Louis XIV, known as the Sun King, rarely spoke at length, and when he did, his words carried immense weight. Remember, the more you talk, the more likely you are to say something foolish. Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Your reputation precedes you. It's the foundation upon which your power stands. Greene illustrates this with stories of historic figures who protected their reputations fiercely, like Cardinal Richelieu, who crushed anyone who dared to defame him. In today's world, think of it as your personal brand. Once damaged, it's nearly impossible to repair. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. To be powerful, you must be seen and remembered. People crave the extraordinary, the flamboyant. P.T. Barnum, the great showman, understood this better than anyone. He staged outrageous events to grab attention, turning even controversy into profit. In a world full of distractions, sometimes the only way to stand out is to be bold and unpredictable. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Why spend years perfecting a skill when you can leverage the work of others? Thomas Edison was a master at this. He often relied on his team of researchers and inventors but took all the credit himself, ensuring his legacy. This law isn't about laziness. It's about focusing on strategy, not execution. Law 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. In the game of power, you want to be the puppet master, not the puppet. By making others come to you, you control the situation. In ancient warfare, Generals lured enemies into traps rather than charging recklessly. When you control the battlefield, you hold all the cards. Law 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. Words can be twisted, misunderstood, or ignored. Actions, on the other hand, are undeniable. Greene highlights how great leaders, like Julius Caesar, made their mark not through speeches but through decisive actions that left no room for debate. Law 10. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Negativity is a virus. Whether it's a constantly complaining friend or a perpetually unlucky business partner, their problems will become yours. Surround yourself with people who bring energy, not drain it. You are the sum of those you keep closest, so choose wisely. Law 11 to 20. As we move forward, the laws become more strategic and cunning. These laws teach you how to manipulate, influence, and maintain your power once you have it. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. Dependence equals control. Think of rulers like Queen Elizabeth I, who carefully maintained a balance of power among her courtiers, ensuring they needed her more than she needed them. It's about creating a sense of indispensability that makes you untouchable. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. A little bit of honesty at the right moment can disarm the most guarded of opponents. Al Capone, the infamous mob boss, used to throw lavish parties and give generously, making people forget his ruthless nature. Generosity is a tactic, not a virtue. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to self-interest, never to mercy or gratitude. Forget appealing to someone's sense of kindness. Appeal to their self-interest instead. If you can position your needs in a way that benefits the other person, they'll be eager to help. The Medici family mastered this in Renaissance Florence, making alliances that were mutually beneficial rather than relying on favors. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Information is the currency of power. Be observant, listen more than you speak, and gather intelligence on everyone. Think of Cardinal Richelieu's vast network of spies. Knowledge was his greatest weapon. Even in everyday life, the more you know about people's motives, the better you can influence them. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. Half measures lead to whole regrets. When you have an enemy, do not let them survive to fight another day. This law is ruthless, but it's the only way to ensure they won't come back stronger. Look at Rome's destruction of Carthage. They left nothing behind to rise again. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Overexposure can dull the shine of even the brightest star. By making yourself scarce, you increase your value. Think of celebrities who disappear for years only to return with a bang. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and it works in every aspect of life. Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Unpredictability keeps people on edge. A consistent pattern can be exploited, but randomness is unmanageable. Think of how Rasputin, the mystic advisor to the Russian royal family, kept everyone guessing. He was feared not just because of his influence but because no one knew what he would do next. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. While it may feel safe to retreat into your castle, cutting yourself off from the world is a recipe for disaster. True power comes from being engaged with others, even if it means exposing yourself to risk. Think of Saddam Hussein's paranoia and how his constant isolation eventually led to his downfall. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. There are people you can push, and there are people you absolutely cannot. Greene emphasizes understanding who you're dealing with before you act. The story of the mistreated courtier who took his revenge decades later shows that some people never forget a slight. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. Allegiance is the weapon of the weak. Greene tells us to be like water, adaptable, fluid, and uncommitted. This way, you can always maneuver and switch sides when it benefits you most. Napoleon often kept multiple alliances, but only honored the ones that served his immediate needs. Law 21 to 30. We're halfway through, and the tactics are only getting more intriguing. Let's dive deeper into the psychology of power with these next 10 laws. Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. Feigning ignorance can be your greatest advantage. It's a classic tactic used by spies and con artists alike. By underestimating you, your enemies reveal more than they should, giving you the upper hand. Remember, in the game of power, Perception is everything. Law 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. There's no shame in strategic surrender. Sometimes, backing down is the only way to win later. Instead of engaging in a battle you can't win, retreat, regroup, and strike back when the time is right. This law is all about long-term thinking. Law 23. Concentrate your forces. Focus is the key to achieving massive power. Scattering your efforts dilutes your impact. Greene cites examples like Alexander the Great, who concentrated his forces at crucial points in battle, overpowering enemies with precision. In life, the same principle applies. Master one thing instead of being mediocre at many. Law 24. Play the perfect courtier. In any hierarchy, there are those who command power and those who play the game to stay close to it. The art of being a courtier involves flattery, strategic humility, and an understanding of the subtle dynamics of power. Think of Sir Francis Walsingham, Queen Elizabeth I's spymaster, who knew how to play every side without ever being caught in the crossfire. Law 25. Recreate yourself. Don't be trapped by the expectations of others. Be whoever you need to be. Reinvent yourself constantly, shedding old identities like a snake sheds its skin. Greene points to historical figures like Leonardo da Vinci, who mastered multiple disciplines and constantly redefined his image. Law 26. Keep your hands clean, appearances matter. Always have others do the dirty work so you can maintain your image. The story of Henry II and Thomas Becket is a classic example. The king's indirect order led to Becket's murder, but Henry was able to distance himself from the crime. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. People want to believe in something greater than themselves. Leaders from ancient pharaohs to modern cult leaders have tapped into this psychological need. By creating rituals, symbols, and a compelling narrative, you can build a loyal following willing to do anything for you. Law 28. Enter action with boldness. Fortune favors the bold. Hesitation is a sign of weakness, and timidity is punished. Think of the audacity of Napoleon crossing the Alps or the sheer confidence of Richard Branson starting Virgin Airlines. It's all about taking decisive action without second-guessing. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. The most successful strategists plan for every contingency. Greene highlights figures like Hannibal, who meticulously planned his military campaigns. In life, if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up somewhere you don't want to be. Map out your path and anticipate obstacles. Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless, never let them see you sweat. The most powerful people make their victories look easy, even when they're anything but. This creates an aura of natural talent and invincibility that keeps others in awe. Master your craft in private, but always present it as effortless genius. Law 31 to 40. These laws teach us the art of manipulation, strategy, and maintaining control. Each one is a masterclass in psychological warfare. Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. Manipulation isn't always about lying. Sometimes, it's just about framing the choices. Politicians often present false dichotomies to force the public's hand. In personal life, you can create the illusion of choice while guiding people exactly where you want them. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. Reality is often disappointing. Fantasy is enticing. Tap into what people wish were true, and you can lead them anywhere. Greene uses the example of John F. Kennedy, who inspired the public with a vision of going to the moon, a dream that captured imaginations and spurred action. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has a weakness. Greene urges us to study people carefully, finding their insecurities, desires, and soft spots. This knowledge is a powerful weapon that can be used to influence, manipulate, or control. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. Carry yourself with confidence, and others will treat you accordingly. If you expect respect, demand it through your behavior, not your words. This law emphasizes the importance of self-image and the projection of authority. Law 35. Master the art of timing. Timing is everything in the game of power. It's not just what you do but when you do it. Wait for the right moment to strike, and your actions will have tenfold the impact. Think of how Joan of Arc waited for the perfect moment to lift the siege of Orléans, turning the tide of the war. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. ignoring them is the best revenge. By giving attention to your enemies or your unfulfilled desires, you only make them stronger. Ignore them, and you diminish their power. Greene highlights how ignoring insults, provocations, or competition can often be more effective than engaging. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. People or visual creatures, and a dramatic display can mesmerize and distract. Look at the grand parades of ancient Rome or modern-day political rallies. These spectacles capture attention and sway public opinion more effectively than any speech. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. Conformity is often the safest strategy. Keep your true thoughts private and blend in. This isn't about suppressing your individuality. It's about playing the game strategically. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. Confusion creates opportunity. Stirring the pot can force people to reveal their true selves, make rash decisions, or act impulsively. By creating chaos, you gain the upper hand. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. Nothing in life is free. Every gift, favor, or compliment has a hidden cost. Always be aware of the strings attached and be wary of accepting handouts, as they can often be traps. Law 41 to 48. As we reach the final stretch, these laws emphasize adaptability, knowing when to pull back, and staying on top of the game. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Be wary of trying to fill the shoes of legends. Their shadow will always loom large. Instead, carve out your own path. Be original, be different, and create a legacy that stands apart. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Identify the leader of any group that opposes you, and deal with them swiftly. When you cut off the head, the body dies. This is a powerful tactic in politics, business, and even personal relationships. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. True influence isn't just about actions. It's about connecting emotionally. If you win someone's heart, their loyalty will follow. Greene suggests using empathy, charm, and personal connection to secure alliances. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. Mirror your enemy's actions to unsettle and disarm them. This tactic creates confusion and throws them off balance, as they are forced to confront their own flaws and insecurities. Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. Change is inevitable, but too much too fast will cause backlash. Introduce it slowly, allowing people time to adapt. Revolutions fail when they move too quickly. Steady evolution is far more successful. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. Perfection breeds envy, and envy is a dangerous enemy. By showing your human side, admitting minor flaws, or failing in small ways, you become more relatable and less of a target. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. Greene warns against the dangers of overreaching. Knowing when to stop and consolidate your gains is just as important as the pursuit itself. Overambition can be your downfall. Law 48. Assume formlessness. Rigidity is the enemy of power. Always be adaptable, changeable, and unpredictable. Greene compares this to water, which can take any shape and flow around any obstacle. In life, those who can adapt survive, and those who can't, well, they don't. And there you have it, the 48 laws of power distilled into one epic journey through strategy, manipulation, and the often brutal game of life. Remember, these laws are tools. They're not inherently good or evil, it's all in how you use them. Whether you're looking to gain power, protect it, or simply survive, this book offers a timeless guide to human nature and the intricate dance of influence. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content on mastering the art of life's most complex games. Until next time, stay smart, stay strategic, and remember, power is always up for grabs. The question is, will you be the one to take it?